the more this person gets to know you, the more that they feel like you could potentially be their soulmate, the person that out of all the billions of people on the planet was designed specifically just for them. This is somebody that feels that the stars have aligned to bring the two of you into one another's lives at this point in time. This is somebody that is very curious about what the future holds between the two of you. This is somebody that has kind of taken note of the ebbs and flows in your connection with one another. Times where the energy is very intense and there's a lot of excitement, a lot of busyness within kind of the experience. So, maybe like long chats, long conversations, hours go by and it feels like it's only been minutes. Times where they are able to really like feel your energy, even when the two of you are at a distance, when they're at work or, at night, or when you got other things going on in your lives other than this connection. And then there are times where there's almost like a stillness that settles in. A time for reflection, a time where each of you are, again, kind of like living your lives. Different things sort of come up. Maybe even what they see is kind of like divine detours. So this could be times where this person's like really busy at work. You're really busy at work. Your schedules don't quite match up. And so it's just kind of like a few little texts you send back and forth, a few little messages throughout the day. But you don't really have time or the opportunity for conversation. This person could have traveled recently. You could have traveled recently. Something where it's kind of like, okay, our usual sort of like time where we get together, the experiences we have with one another. Maybe you're like getting together in person. You're going out on dates regularly. You or them are going to be out of town for a couple of weeks. And so it's kind of like, okay, there's a need to kind of just check in with one another, but there'll be this extended period of time, or there's been an extended period of time of not really like a no contact, but just sort of like a limited contact between the two of you. All of that is something that they are seeing has been like the right recipe to really start to appreciate just how special you are, how unique this bond is with one another. Almost a sense of with that side of the energy where it's like there may be things that have kind of like kept them at a distance from you, or like you traveled, they travel, maybe they travel for work or you travel for work. Something where there could have just been like a very understandable period of time where it's like we're not having our usual experiences with one another for a very like predetermined and finite window of time. All of that is something that has, kind of brought them back around to sort of like the sacredness of when they have reconnected with you, when you've gotten back on track with one another, or kind of like the usual nature of your interactions has resumed. This is something that it's kind of like we don't miss a beat. We pick up right where we left off from, and there's a greater degree of kind of like appreciating those moments of reconnection. Like this person has really come to understand, like, I miss you when I'm away from you, when I have to be away, when I'm indisposed, when I'm busy, when life pulls you off in another direction for a period of time, or it does that with me, and then we get to come back together with one another. It's like the feeling of coming home. And so this is somebody that is starting to, at this point in time, it feels like their heart is opening, to the understanding, like you do feel like home for them. And that in like a very positive sense, this person might have come from like kind of a broken home or like a toxic home, circumstances even in like previous romances where there could have even been sort of like a sense of, I don't really want to go home. It's just a lot of fighting. It's a lot of drama. It's a lot of chaos. Like that could have been sort of the way things ended in their last connection with someone, that it didn't end well. It kind of ended very chaotically. And you in this situation is showing them like an entirely different feeling of comfort. Like this is how home in the form of another person should be. This is what it should feel like to connect with someone truly in a way where it's like for both of our emotional well-being. It's in accordance with both of our highest good. It is a circumstance, even at the times where we don't see eye to eye, or we disagree, or our moods kind of take over in the situation, there's still love in the midst of it all. And so this is somebody that feels like that it's coaxing them closer, to having more experiences with you, to start to open up about the idea of kind of like what comes next in this connection. You've got flexibility. So this person is listening to their intuition at this particular point in time in terms of making certain plans and preparations, it feels like, to take the connection to the next level. This may involve moving in with one another, or elevating the nature of your encounters and experiences with one another. So something where there's like a regular date night, a regular kind of occurrence between the two of you that sort of acts as kind of like a first step in the direction of like, we're creating a foundation of something with one another that has long-term potential. It's not just kind of like, oh, because I've got time now, let's interact, or I got my weekends free, so let's hang out, let's do something. It's almost like beyond the nature of whatever those exchanges have been like up to this point in time. This is somebody that is like, I am thinking of ways and looking for ways to kind of create more flexibility within my own routine, within the nature of how I live my life up to this point in time, in order to kind of accommodate this connection, in order to kind of like make a space for you in my life, because it feels good to be near you. I feel instinctually drawn towards you. It feels very aligned. I recognize that you have come into my life and you have fit into the parts of myself that were lonely, were lacking, were kind of like looking for love, and you've brought a sense of peace to me. This is somebody, it feels like, that had kind of been like pacing around inside of themselves, like overthinking almost, sort of like, okay, I don't know how much longer I can hold out hope of, meeting someone really great, meeting somebody, that I'm genuinely attuned with, that kind of like really likes me, that I really like them, that it really has the makings of being something very positive, very good, and very beautiful. And so you've come into their life in a way that is providing them reassurances that like they haven't missed out. They haven't missed out on that blessing and love. That it's kind of like it might have sort of come into their life like you might have come into one another's lives a little later in life, or at a time where it's kind of like, again, there was almost like a nervousness on their part, sort of like, are my standards too high? Have I missed something? Did I miss my soulmate somewhere back in the day, and now I'm kind of just, I get to do life alone, like that kind of an energy. And so you've put a lot of that kind of like sense of what if, or that fear of almost kind of like, I guess I'll just be the love of my own life, like that kind of an energy. You've put a lot of that to rest within this person, because there's a sense of like they've recently sort of reached a point within where they've like looked towards you. It's like, oh, there you are. There's the person that I have been looking for my whole life. There's the person that I've been looking for all along. Here is the person that really fits in with that sense of like, I am so excited to see you. I'm so excited to be close to you, to be near you, to be having exchanges with you. And it's not based on kind of like toxicity. It's not based on codependency. It's not based on kind of just, addicted to the highs and the situation between the two of us, but it's something that even in the times where there are these lulls, or there's these periods of quiet, I feel very content with that. And it makes me feel just so good in the times where, the energies and the experiences between the two of us are just very like loud, very on point, very kind of like enriching. We also have simplicity. Yeah, so this person is definitely not fighting their feelings for you at all. This is somebody that is kind of like, I want to kind of speak sweetly to you. I want to let you know just how sweet of a presence you are in my life. I want to let you know just how meaningful you are to me, how meaningful this connection is to me, how much I want us to continue to go with the flow of the experience as it is at this point in time, but also work together, kind of like combine forces in order to try and, problem solve a way through any obstacles, any fears we may have, any doubts that could creep up inside, anything that in some way, shape, or form might seek to undermine the situation. Let's work together. Let's work as a team. Let's work in tandem to make sure that, love has brought us together. Love is blooming between the two of us. Let's keep our sights set on love in this situation, because this is somebody that really feels like love will see the two of you through this circumstance and into kind of more of a place where, if again, somebody like travels for work, or they're busy, or, they got a lot going on, that it's like there's always that guarantee that no matter what happens in my day, I want to be able to come home to you. We also have freedom. Yeah, so this is somebody that is getting ready to speak their truth. This is somebody that is getting ready to, confess deeper feelings that they haven't let on that they have towards you before. This is somebody that has been waiting until the moment felt really right inside of themselves. And again, this is somebody that's recently had like an epiphany, an aha moment. Something has shifted inside of them that has let them know, kind of like, yeah, continuing to, go with the flow and at times sort of fight the current if necessary in order to make a way forward, make space in my schedule, in my life, to include you, to include more experiences with you beyond just kind of like, hey, we're chatting longer, or it's more text messages, or, more phone calls, more video chats. This is almost somebody that, is kind of like, I want to make sure that we're having like real world experiences with one another. I don't just want to exist in that place of kind of like, the words we exchange are really great, but then the connection is basically built off of sort of like our own kind of private thoughts, our own private reflections. I want to ground this into reality. I want to make sure that we are kind of like literally seeing eye to eye. We are literally face to face with one another. We are literally having experiences with one another in the material world, because that feels to be the next inevitable step, is kind of like more of that, more frequency of that, more variety as far as that is concerned. All the kind of cues and indicators that are getting inside of themselves are pointing them in the direction of being very proactive, very honest, very brave with that honesty, in order for you to truly understand that this is somebody that they're very devoted to you. They see a light in your eyes that provides them with this huge reassurance that continuing to, move forward with you in the direction of more closeness and more permanence to this connection, that this is a good thing. We also have healing chaos. Yeah, so your presence in their life, the experiences between the two of you, your energy, times where they have to be away from you and then they get to kind of come home to you, metaphorically or literally speaking. All of that has kind of like generated this powerful current of energy between the two of you that again is putting certain fears to rest within them, of sort of like, well, I guess maybe, my love story, it's not going to happen in this lifetime. Maybe I've been setting my sights too high. I need to lower the bar, lower the standard a little bit. I need to just settle. Maybe there's an experience that I was supposed to have and I made the wrong choice, and so my kind of penance, my karma is I need to just continue to kind of move through my life with that lesson loud and clear in front of me in the form of my loneliness, or my being alone and not able to really connect with another person, vibe with another person on that deep level. All of those kind of like dark thoughts or defeatist thoughts that this person has had inside of themselves, it feels like those are being quieted each and every time they see you smile, each and every time they, have a very like meaningful conversation with you, each and every time there are experiences of closeness, and each and every time, you're kind of like back in your own lives, living your lives in your separate world, taking care of your responsibilities, adulting, just kind of like doing your thing. And they're able to kind of sit in the afterglow of that experience, that kind of like intangible connection as well, is helping this person to see that they've missed out on nothing that is meant for them, that it's like the best was always yet to come, and they are now in that place and time where it's like the best is here. This circumstance, this situation, whatever you have going on between the two of you right now, whatever the potential looks like, this is the best. This is what they've been waiting for. This is what they've been hoping to find. This is what they were seeking all along, and this is what's right in front of them in the here and now. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.